What's up, my people? How una dey? Wetin dey happen? Wetin dey up? As usual, I am back again. I want to thank the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and believing in me. Don't mind me, I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you so much. If you're watching me for the first time, or you're yet to subscribe, or thinking about subscribing, don't worry, I got you. Just subscribe first. But yeah, kindly subscribe, and yeah, thank you in advance. Okay, in today's video, I've got Toke Makinwa, that's Olorisupergal. Yeah, that's the first person. What else are we talking about today? Basketmouth ex-wife. Yes, we'll link that situation to Osas marriage. That's the actress Osas. Osas and Ben were married. Yeah, so we'll link it to that. But first, let's talk about Toke Makinwa. Now, the reason why I felt I needed to talk about this was because I had a different notion about what this lady is probably going through. Until recently, then I went back to check what this woman have been through and to check some of the things that I probably have missed. But I discovered more stuff, but they did not trend, right? So there's something that she shared in 2018. I think that was around the time that she wrote her book, and she said something about her life, the relationship aspects, how difficult it is for her to find a man. And this is 2018. I felt, you're probably too proud of yourself, but that is why sometimes you just need to get to know them before you judge them. So she granted an interview recently with Chude. But before that interview, before we dissect that interview, really nothing to dissect because it's not that long, but I'm going to read the 2008 interview, like what she shared with Saturday Beats. So let's read. She said, why is it difficult for her to find a man? Said, when a young lady is successful, it sometimes frightens men. I have had some experiences. There are several times men have told me that they cannot date me because I am richer than them. In one of my experiences with a man, I had to lower my standard to the point that I always had to drive down from Victoria Island to Isolo and back just to be with him. At the point, I even left my car in his house for his use and was hopping in taxis just to show that I was committed to the relationship. At the end of the day, it did not change anything. Currently, I'm not in a relationship, but if I have to be in one, I would like to be with a man that is very supportive, a person that can help me lift some burdens off my shoulder. I remember reading this part and I was like, no, I don't get it. A man that is really caring, lift some burden off your shoulder. But you said you're a successful woman, you are doing well. Why do you need somebody to lift the burden? I did not. Like I said, I feel like, a lot of people also miss that part because, of course, some people even call that out on that. Well, so what are you? The people like you are very proud, blah, blah, blah. They say, person will wear shoe, and you know where they should, they pinch them or they pin them. So the body she was talking about was actually not what we can physically see. Yeah, it's what she's dealing with.
I think for that year, when you talked about mood swings, we talked about anger. I didn't know. I think taking it back now would not make me realize that, I think some of the things that behavioral, traits that I had then didn't really show that it was because of what I was going through. It was already affecting me mentally, and with everything that we're doing with our body, it all comes from the mind.
It continues. He said, I do not know it all, but I am learning from my mistakes. That's what she said. And another thing that I also learned as a man is that, don't give compliments just because you see a lady that, even though the lady is in her husband's house, don't just give compliment because you think she's pregnant. That's another thing I've come to understand. The fact that she looks pregnant does not mean that she's pregnant.
And I went through a process where I thought I was pregnant, and then I kept doing PT tests over and over again, and there was nothing. I kept doing PT tests over and over again with the strip, even with the lab test and everything. There was nothing until I started having skin irritation, and then I could not wear clothes again that would open my skin on my chest, on my body. So I decided to cover up but from there it was because it was spreading out to my hands, spreading out all the way to my neck and my chest.
In her interview with Trudy, she revealed that she had fibroid. She dealt with it for 3 years until she made the biggest decisions of her life. But what she didn't tell us is, wait, I'll hold on to that. Something she said in that interview that I felt is either she missed that point, she forgot, or she lied, a tiny bit of lie. Not that serious anyways. It's not like it's harmful or anything. But yeah, she told Trudy that she hasn't shared any of this story in public before.
She says she has not shared any of these stories before in the public because she didn't want pity.
She's tiny bit correct there, because she actually granted an interview 2 years ago, but that interview didn't go anywhere. Only a few people watched it, and she didn't say much there. She mentioned fibroid, but did not specifically say she's dealing with it, but she mentioned it, just throw it in. But I mean, a smart person will know that, okay, she's probably dealing with it, and maybe the interviewers even know that, but she didn't put it out there, so they didn't write it there. Oh, Tosi Ajibade had fibroid or anything, but she just chipped it in while they were talking about PCO. I have to check out what this means, because to be honest, I don't even know what it is. But that video, to be honest, did not trend.
When he told me what the result was and all, he told me that I could manage it. Okay. But he gave me the first option of taking it out. And like you rightly said, with women who are also managing PCOS and fibroid.
Double. That's double. Wow. That's double.
So this is a lot for someone to sit down across the table to tell you, take it out.
You could sense that she did not want pity. So she just did the interview, just said like it's normal, like it's nothing. She's dealing with it, she's handling it well. So yes, she's tiny bit correct. She said she discovered that she had this PCOS in 2017. This was before the fibroid case, because when I calculated it, so she told Trudy in that interview that she's been dealing with this, she was dealing with it for more than 3 years before she decided to do the operation. That means if it's 3 years ago, 3 years from now is when, that's like 2021, all right, 2020, 2021. Probably she discover it around that time, and she's been dealing with PCOS for a long time before then. That's 2017. So imagine what this lady has been dealing with. So a lady like that actually need extra care. And I also noticed something, right? She's really confident to talk about everything after she got married. I think almost immediately after she got married, she started opening up. Because imagine a lady, this thing they said affects a lady's fertility. Now, PCOS, I learned that it affects a lady's fertility. Fibroids too, they affect a lady's fertility. No one would confidently come out and say, yes, this is what I'm dealing with. So I get that part.
And again, not many people are bold or courageous enough. Again, you don't forget that anything that has to do with anything health, women and all of that, especially that would affect your fertility or whatever, there's already a stigma.
There's a stigma to
you understand. So they're looking at it, so this one of you born picking as he just did like this, just fine like this, there's so many things.
And after she didn't show a man's face though, but she shared a picture in January 2022, around that time, on Instagram, and said the best day of my life. She's 37 years old. So based on calculation, even though she didn't specifically mention the date, the year she got married. Based on my own calculation, she probably have said it in maybe another interview, but I don't think so. Based on my own calculation, she probably got married when she was 35 or 34. 35 or 34. So I just feel like whoever she's with now must be a very understanding man. In fact, she shared a story during her interview that sometimes she just starts crying. And the man, like, nothing happened. She would just start crying because a lot is happening in her body.
But it's fine. But so far, my husband has been very supportive of me, and the way everything has been. So, like, I think when we met, I told him about everything, and so when the old mood swings also comes in, like, I would give you a very clear experience or example of what happened to me in January, just this year. I said I was watching TV, and the next thing I started crying. And it was in the home office, like it was the office in the house. It was working, and then I started crying. My heart could not take it. Like the tears build up. I mean, I was just building up, and the next thing I just started bursting into tears. And the next I just went to meet him. See, this is what is happening to me. Okay, I started talking and explaining myself, and I told him I don't understand my body anymore. So like I referred to my story in January, with my experience when I was in the house with my husband, and I had to explain to him, and he had to calm me down because I said I've been doing everything, even from seeing the doctors to do, taking supplements to changing my diet, doing everything, and still,
You understand? So, and this PCO can't be cured. Like, it's so crazy that something like this can't be cured, but it can be managed. And fibroid too is not even guaranteed. After you go for the operation, it can regrow after 3 years, after a couple of years, except you put yourself on a serious diet and stuff like that. In fact, I'll call her a dietitian now, because according to her, she's very careful of what she eats.
What for some will be a life-threatening surgery, for fibroid, for 3 years, fear had stopped her from doing this surgery, and she couldn't dodge anymore. How scarier could the year get? But Tosin is standing here today. The surgery is done, the fibroid is gone, and she's here to testify.
So the meaning of PCOS is PCOS actually. Is the full meaning is polycystic ovary syndrome, and she's got that and fibroid. There are two different things. It says that there are two different gynecological conditions that can have similar symptoms. So they have similar symptoms. Okay, but they said, however, there are separate medical issues that don't appear to be related. So now, PCOS and uterine fibroids can affect fertility. So she's got two things that is affecting her. These two things affect a woman's fertility. PCOS location is the ovaries, fibroids, the uterus. Symptoms: irregular or absent period. That's for the PCOS. Under PCOS, pelvic discomfort, excess hair growth, acne, obesity. And the uterus for the fibroids now, under fibroids, heavy and prolonged menstrual bleeding, pelvic pain and pressure, uterine discomfort, abdominal swelling. All these things happening to this lady at the same time. Now, they said other characteristics include, for under PCOS, it says hormonal disorder, infrequent or absent ovulation, fertility issues. Okay, under fibroids, which is under the uterus, not cancerous tumors can become physical barriers in the uterus, complications in pregnancy. Wow, just one person. And they said for the PCOS, what can be taken out? Said a surgical procedure called laparoscopic ovarian drilling. That's the procedure that can be used to remove it or take it out. They said under general anesthetic, your doctor will make a small cut in your lower tummy and pass a long, thin microscope called laparoscope through into your abdomen. The ovaries will then be surgically treated using heat or a laser to destroy the tissue that's producing androgens. That's the male hormones. So you can imagine, so that PCOS makes your body release male hormones. So this procedure destroys the male hormones. Now, she has been able to treat fibroids. She went through with the surgery, and now she's doing great. She doesn't have any fibroids now. That's why she is, part of the reasons why she's also confident to share it with everybody. And Funke Akindele helped out. Sometimes, right, we don't get to hear some of these things about these celebrities, their good deeds, and they don't put it out there, right? And I think things like this too, should be shared. If somebody really help you, let us know this kind of a person. Yeah, we know to Funke Akindele, which she has said herself, that she can be harsh sometimes. Of course, she's an entrepreneur. She have people working under her. So sometimes it is expected they can be, little bit edgy and, have their own attitude, but cannot, remove the fact that sometimes these people come through for other people. And she helped out. I think she sent some money to this lady I think it was just money for the surgery, that she sent to her. But it's just so crazy, thinking about this, and it's like, wow, okay, now I understand what Olorisupergal was trying to say back then. Like, she need extra support. Okay. If I were her, I will need extra support.
I also had to encourage myself. So having gone through the phase I went through in November, which had to do with my health.
Yes.
Then December was my recovery period, and Auntie Funke was about to release her movie.
Yes, Funke Akindele.
Yes, Funke Akindele. She was about to release her movie, so she sent us a DM. She invited us for the premiere, sent emails, sent DMs, and at the one that really, busted my brain was when she called. And she called to say, "Alpha, I'm going to lose account and everything." She spoke to me. She encouraged me, encouraged me to pray, encouraged me to fast, encouraged me, gave me experiences, life experiences that even she herself had, passed through and even scaled. And look at her today.
Yeah.
That was an unexpected call.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
But she attended to my issue at that time.
So not just words,
but
also actual support.
Actual support.
Yeah.
And she said, "Okay, Eloni, like, how much is it? Okay, don't worry. Maniki Biola, Kukpe and everything." And that was just it. And me, that was just the recovery, that ginger came.
Yeah.
And the words she said to me stirred up that thing. Like, what is that thing that you have inside of you? Get it out. Do not sit or drown in it. You understand? And that thing just really helped me find myself again. Like, more. Yeah. We are going back. We are going to do this work together. And that helped.
Yeah.
Wow. The next one here. So we have Basketmouth's ex-wife. So I saw a report where they said, let me read it. It says, Elsie cries out to her basket of admirers. She sent a message to men. "Don't message me for love." She said, "Guys, please, my DM is for business. Don't message me about love. I beg you in God's name. If you are not talking business deals, then it's nonsense to me. Stop, please. You are clogging my DM." Look, almost all the comments here are saying the same thing. Oh, nobody sent her a message, she's just lying. In fact, one person said, whenever a lady comes out to cry out like this, it means she's no longer getting the attention of men. And this made me remember what my mom shared, back then with us, that while she was still the housewife, before she started going out, to sell stuff. She was like a full-time housewife around that time. And she said when she's out to get something or groceries, men would approach her. That is my mom. It's not like she's wearing a sexy clothes. It's not like she's got 3 kids around that time, 3 or 4 kids around that time. And she would say it like she's shocked. Like, these people know that I'm in my husband's house. They know that I have kids. Why are they asking? So if they can ask my mom out, and I did not even dress in a sexy way, that I did not, she na people wey still dey, push, wey still dey hustle. Now I don't even get time to dey wear sexy clothes. They are asking, why do you think they can't ask her out? Especially a lady like, have you been to her page? A lady that is looking all sexy. Have you been to her page? Anyway, she shared a dance video. Nice video, having fun, happy. So people started talking about how some women find peace or are happy after they left their marriage. Well, there are other comments that said, don't mind them, they're just faking it, trying to be happy and stuff. I mean, it might be either of those. Some of these ladies might be intentionally searching for happiness, because sometimes when you are over happy or you're trying to, it could be a sign of depression, or also you are trying to distract yourself. And number 3, you are just genuinely happy. It's one of these 3 things, but we don't know actually, right? So I mean, I cannot say, but you should go to her page. That lady she's looking good, but she's making dance videos, looking all happy and stuff. And that makes me remember the news about Osas and Ben Ajibade. So they got married in 2015, and later we heard the reports that they are divorced. I think they got divorced in 2019, because Ben Ajibade granted an interview in 2019 talking about the issue. That was in December, and in February he had called out Osas for neglecting their child. So based on my calculations, because during that interview in December, he said at the time she called this lady out, Osas out, they were still married. So yes, I think they got divorced in 2019. And Osas really never talked about their marriage. Never really talked about what happened. Never granted an interview talking about it and stuff. And later on, we saw Osas, after he had even complained, in 2019, we saw Osas again in 2023. She was seen in an outfit at Barbados Carnival, having fun, and if you take a close look at that relationship, you realize that it's probably based on love at first sight.
And when I came on set, I met some of the cast members the first day I was on set, but I didn't meet everyone. Maybe the second or third day I came back on set to just, shadow and watch how everything works. I saw a tall figure walking down the studio hallway, and that's where everyone convenes. There's different shows that was on that lot, and there's this tall guy walking, and I actually got pictures of every cast member. And I remember saying to myself, oh, he's cute, okay, keep going. But it's a soap opera, so everyone looks good. Mm-hmm. So when I first actually saw him face to face, I was stunned because he was so tall. Mm-hmm. Actors are usually short, at least in the States.
She did not mention, it might just be me and I might be wrong, she did not mention, one major quality apart from the physical appearance. Maybe that marriage is just dead on arrival. Maybe, because it's like these two don't even have a clue. Okay, the reason why I said that is they ask him this question: how do you ignite the spark in your relationship? He said, no idea. That doesn't sound good. Like, if you ask me, it doesn't really sound good. And guys, he continued by saying, she's in charge. She's in charge. Ignite what? I beg. It's like he's relaxed. Some people can be a great father, just like J-Mike. J-Mike admitted actually that he wasn't a great husband, but he was a great father.
quickly tell us, how do you ignite the spark in your relationship?
I would say, truth being told, I have no idea. She is in charge. I give it up to Osas.
Before
That's why Benro got pissed that this lady was partying. He said this lady was partying and left their child alone. This was in 2019. And we confirmed that in 2023. Yes, she was partying. But it looks like a marriage that wasn't meant to be. Because in 2017, in their interview, okay, they got married in 2015, 2 years after. That interview was very awkward. In fact, while watching it, because if you compare that interview, juxtapose it, the interview in 2015 when they just got married, you're excited and all that, and the one in 2000, it was so awkward. Like, are they having problems? And somebody mentioned it in the comment section. One person or two mentioned, like, why is this interview like this? What? I was like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who sensed that.
And all that. But being with Marital, it's really taught me the importance of partnership, working together, communicating. And it's a work in process as well. So it's a day-to-day thing for us.
Yeah, this was 2 years in 2017, and in 2019 they finally divorced. And take note, before a couple divorce, there's probably a problem that they've been trying to solve. Some of them, it takes years for them to solve it. Yes, and some of them are lucky they are able to fix it, while others, just like AY, I think they've been dealing with it for a long time until they finally, call it quit. So in that same interview, he said something like, I own you forever.
I mean, right now I have the pride and the courage to tell you that I own her forever, so
You
there's
own
always
me.
Yes, sir. That's my property.
Oh, you paid direct, okay.
I paid now. Yeah, so
He's like saying, I don't need to work too hard for this relationship, I own it forever. It just seems like something is already looming, right? And probably that is why sometimes these ladies leave and feel happier. Some of them genuinely happier. Some of them, I think it just depends, But in this situation, don't get me wrong. I do not know what exactly happened because Benro did not share. It's just based on interviews and all that does not mean that it's accurate, right? The argument then I could recall, they said, oh, he probably married her because of green card, and Ebuka actually confronted that. That's one of the best interviews I've ever watched. Ebuka really pushed it, get the words out of Benro.
The people who believe, this marriage was sort of arranged by you to be with her to get a blue passport, and that's the narrative. So the people believe, you did this, you've gotten what you want, and now you've let it go.
well, I mean, if it was about that, I won't go through all that process. Do a traditional marriage, involve families, do a white wedding in New York. Do you know how much I spent and the whole intention? Like, it was way away from all of that. That just popped up when we started, having kids, and it was the next thing up.
But you can see why that would be a belief, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have rights to their own belief and intentions, right? Like I said, it's a bullet, or those are bullets I'll always have to collect, you know, because I wear those shoes, I know what it feels like, and I'm just trying to be that good, responsible man. Yeah. Always, regardless, I'll still always be there for my daughter,
But let us read exactly what Benro said then, that happened. He said, okay, what are these things we in talk safe? This was, early 2019. Who leaves a baby in the house and goes out to party and hang with friends event from 6 p.m. till 5 a.m. It's not the first, second, third, or fourth time. The other night you slept out. You sent our baby with a stranger to drop her off back home with the nanny so you can be out all night. And it seemed like he wasn't around this time because he said he went to the United States to hustle, and send money back home. And he mentioned US so many times in that video and keeps saying he's sending money back home. So he's trying to give us the impression that he's hustling, making sure that this family, everything goes well for this family, and this is happening. Let me continue. Make up your mind and stop wasting a guy's time. I see through the hypocrisy and crocodile tears. It's not about putting shit outside. It's about final warning. I've tried every other means and it's not a do or die affair. So quick to run out of the house and then not come back till the following morning. I've lost count. Forgetting you be person, mama. Even if nothing else means to you, I can forgive you for all the BS. But between me and my child or children, or being that responsible man, that's a no. Since I've used both families to talk to you to no avail, you take this space or app more seriously. Let the people out here ask you if you're really ready for this journey. If yes, you know what to do. Otherwise, let me jump on the next flight to take my daughter and continue building a future for her out here, which was the plan in the first place.
There are a lot of people who didn't particularly take that very well, the post you put up. Do you regret doing that? Because, social media can get very messy, and people say sometimes it's better for things to be left quiet. Was that a sort of a last resort for you, and why did you do that?
Like I said, yes, exactly. I think that's just the phrase. It was the last resort I had, and I can't explain into detail telling you what made me do it and the actual reason and all of that stuff. But for me, I used Instagram as a tool to salvage the situation at a particular point in time, which worked for me. So yes, a lot of people misunderstood it. I had to take all the bullets and all of that, but at the end of the day, it was for the sake of my daughter. And I feel I wouldn't say I regret it, because it worked for me at that point in time, since it was the only result I had.
Well, it's finally, he finally, took the child with him, and they are together. I think they're currently in the United States. So he's really, really there for the child, to be honest. I think this man is a great dad, and even shares pictures of her steady. And there was even a video that I watched. This child saw him and was super excited and jumped on him. That is a child that enjoys father's love, because you see it in kids. Kids are so innocent that you see it. They wouldn't really be happy to see you like that. It shows,
I knew you'd come.
You knew I would come?
Yes.
Now, Osas, while speaking with Arise TV, I still have that. I don't even know if I still have that. But yeah, this was in June, just last 2 months. We are in July. July. So last month, Osas said, not many people saw this post, by the way. I used to be in my head a lot. I used to worry about what people thought about me. But when I went through the experience of losing my mom in 2020, I realized how much she gave to so many people, and she didn't take care of herself. So I'm thinking, but her mom was still alive around the time she was out there having fun. When Bero, and she never debunked it, take notes, when Bero was complaining. And by the way, guys, they are still best of friends, so they are still cool. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Co-parenting and stuff, so they are still cool. So I think it's just in Osas. I think it's just in her to have fun. You only live once, YOLO, and stuff like that. I realized how much she gives so many people, and she didn't take care of herself. I said, wait a minute, I'm not going to end up like that. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be the best that I can be, and I want to represent her legacy to the best of my ability. So I've been free and living life. Be happy and enjoying every moment. Whether it's good or bad, you either learn from it or you enjoy it. And that's how I live my life. Sometimes, right, I just want to quickly chip this in. Some people, they start living that life. Some people start going out after the breakup because they are looking for distraction. So maybe she was actually just doing that as that's like, probably there's an effect, from the relationship that's happening around the time. Okay, let's continue. A lot of people come up to me to say they love the dance videos I post online, and that's part of the freedom for me. I love to do that, but before I would be so subconscious, like, no, I'm a theater trained actor. I don't want people to be thinking, but who cares at this point? I'm a thespian, but I'm also someone who loves life, who loves to travel, who loves pampering herself and dancing, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Well, that's what she said. Looking at all these things, I'm just beginning to learn something new, to know that before you get into any relationship that you want to last a lifetime, understand why you are with that person, like, deeply, or come understand it. Because yes, it's scary and discouraging to see couples that have stayed in a marriage for 14 years divorce, 12 years divorce. But one thing we don't talk about is problem usually starts. There's probably something reoccurring after like a year or 2 years of that marriage, and this couple try to keep it that long. So it's not like it starts happening. That's what I learned. Because initially I was like, why did Basketmouth after 12 years? What are they thinking about? Look at AY after so years. What are they thinking about? But when I went back to check, I realized that AY's wife had been giving us signs. I've been sharing some things that, if you are smart, you will understand that this marriage is shaky. Years ago. So, marriage that is able to stand the test of time without issues in the first 5 years, no issues. Of course, there are little issues, but it's not like it's so serious. 7 years, 8 years, I believe it can break. I believe it can break. Usually, most of these marriages is dead on arrival. They just try to, package it for us and stay married for social media and for fans most of the time. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like, subscribe. Until we see you next time. Peace.
What would you say affected your marriage more? I mean, was it the fame? Because there are people who say sometimes when you're so out there, when you're two public figures, especially with this social media age, there's a lot of, interference, even from people you don't know. Would you say the fame was the issue, or the fact that you were sort of having a distant marriage because you were no longer in Nigeria? What was the bigger factor?
You like I said, I already explained the intention why I left. It was also because of the family. I mean, I knew who I was. I knew how I was popping out here in Nigeria, but I had to sacrifice all of that to go and do that. Now, I wouldn't want to go into what affected it because that's too personal. But at the end of the day, it's an experience I'm forever grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do things differently? What would you do differently?
What I do differently?
What would you do differently looking back?
Looking back? Like I said, I don't regret anything. If I had regrets, yes, I was start thinking about, maybe I would have done this differently. I don't regret anything at all.
So what are the lessons then?
What are the lessons? That's for my archives. Because if you're asking because of the fact you want other people to learn from those lessons. Everybody's situation and case is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you would understand that, speaking from a matrimonial point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I wouldn't want to say, oh, these are my lessons, or this is what I would have done differently. No, you know, all of that is for me and I can express.
When you say you're in good terms, do you talk often, or is it just sort of co-parenting for the child?
Co-parenting for the child.
Okay, so it's just completely about the child. Outside of that,
Exactly.
you guys are not in communication. Okay. How are your families? How are they taking all of this? Is everybody...
Well, they had to. They had to eventually, you know. And the good part is, if we probably left in quarreling terms, it would have been different.
Yeah.
You know, but the fact that we're still cool, you know. Of course, both families weren't happy.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, it has happened, it's happened. We have to move on. You can't just start beating yourself or paying back old scores and stuff like that.